Patrick Michael Borders, better known as Pat Borders, was born on December 16, 1962, in St. Petersburg, Florida. He was raised in a sports-oriented household, and from a young age, his interest in baseball was clear. His father, a former semi-professional baseball player, introduced him to the game early, fostering a love for sports that would last a lifetime. As a teenager, Borders attended Seminole High School in St. Petersburg, where he became a standout athlete. Although he excelled in multiple sports, it was baseball that ultimately caught the attention of scouts. As a catcher, he had a reputation for his strong defensive skills, ability to handle pitchers, and arm strength. After high school, Borders continued his baseball career at the University of Miami, one of the top collegiate programs in the country. His time at Miami was pivotal, as it provided him with the opportunity to refine his skills and play against top competition. Borders was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays in the 33rd round of the 1982 MLB draft but chose to attend college instead. After further development at Miami, he was drafted again by the Blue Jays in the 1985 MLB draft, this time in the 12th round. He signed with the Blue Jays and began his professional career in the minor leagues, initially playing in the Class A leagues before moving up through the system. Career peak. Pat Borders' career peak occurred during the 1990s, particularly in the latter part of the decade, when he became one of the key players for the Toronto Blue Jays during their most successful years. Borders made his major league debut on September 8, 1988, with the Blue Jays. Though he appeared in only a handful of games during his first few seasons, he demonstrated the kind of defensive prowess that would become his hallmark. The 1992 season marked the beginning of Borders' most successful stretch in the big leagues. That year, he became the starting catcher for the Blue Jays and established himself as one of the top defensive catchers in the American League. In 1992, the Blue Jays won their first ever American League East title, and Borders played an integral role in their success behind the plate. His leadership and skill at handling pitchers, especially in big moments, made him a valuable asset to the team. Borders' offensive performance also improved during this period. He was never known for his bat, but he was a solid contributor with occasional power, particularly for a catcher. In the 1992 season, Borders posted a .247 batting average with 7 home runs and 34 RBIs. Solid numbers for a catcher in that era. More importantly, he proved to be a reliable defensive presence, one who could handle the pressure of postseason play. The pinnacle of Borders' career came in 1992 when the Toronto Blue Jays captured their first World Series title. As the starting catcher, Borders played a significant role in the postseason, providing solid defense and handling the pitching staff with confidence. In the World Series against the Atlanta Braves, Borders had a strong showing, contributing both offensively and defensively. He hit .250 in the series, with 2 home runs, and his ability to manage the pitching staff was vital in the Blue Jays' success. In the 1993 season, Borders continued to be a key player for the Blue Jays as they defended their title. Toronto won their second consecutive World Series in 1993, and Borders again played an important role. This time, his bat contributed even more, as he posted a career-high 13 home runs and 43 RBIs, along with a .255 batting average. His contributions were especially important in the postseason, where he provided veteran leadership and steady play behind the plate. Main achievements: 1992 World Series champion. The most notable achievement of Pat Borders' career was his role in helping the Toronto Blue Jays win their first ever World Series in 1992. Borders played a crucial part in the team's success, providing stellar defense and leadership behind the plate while contributing offensively. His performance in the postseason and the World Series itself helped solidify his legacy in Toronto. 1993 World Series champion. Borders helped the Blue Jays win their second consecutive World Series in 1993. He again contributed defensively and offensively, playing a key role in the team's success and cementing his place as one of the most important players in the team's championship run. American League All-Star Selection, 1994. In 1994, Borders was selected as an All-Star for the American League, his first and only selection. While his offensive numbers were never overwhelming, his strong defensive game, leadership, and ability to work with pitchers earned him a spot among the league's best catchers that season. Solid defensive catcher. Throughout his career, Borders was known for his exceptional defensive skills, particularly as a game caller and a pitch blocker. His ability to manage pitchers and play solid defense made him one of the best backstops in the American League during his time. He was particularly adept at handling a pitching staff, which is one of the most important responsibilities of a catcher. Longevity. Borders played in the major leagues for over 15 seasons, which is a significant accomplishment for any player, particularly a catcher, whose body endures considerable wear and tear. Over his long career, he played for several teams, including the Blue Jays, the Chicago White Sox, the Kansas City Royals, and the Cleveland Indians. Final years. After his time with the Blue Jays, Pat Borders continued to play for a few more seasons in the major leagues, but his performance began to decline. In 1994, he was traded to the Chicago White Sox, where he spent part of the season before being traded to the Kansas City Royals. Borders played 2 seasons with the Royals before finishing his major league career with a brief stint with the Cleveland Indians in 1996. While Borders had solid defensive skills and maintained his leadership qualities throughout his career, his offensive production began to taper off in his later years. The demanding nature of catching at the major league level, combined with the natural aging process, led to his decline as an everyday player. Despite this, he remained a valuable backup catcher and a mentor to younger players. After retiring from the majors, Borders continued to be involved in baseball. He briefly played in the minor leagues after leaving the majors, making appearances in the independent leagues and trying to extend his playing career. However, his time in professional baseball ended in the early 2000s. Following his playing career, Borders turned to coaching and mentoring. He worked with various baseball organizations, sharing his extensive knowledge of the game and helping young players develop their skills. He has also remained involved in the Toronto Blue Jays community, staying connected with the franchise and occasionally participating in alumni events and celebrations of the Blue Jays' past successes. Legacy. Pat Borders' legacy is one of a steadfast, reliable and highly respected player, particularly for his time with the Toronto Blue Jays. Though he was never a superstar by traditional standards, his contributions were instrumental in the team's success during the early 1990s. He was a key part of the Blue Jays' back-to-back World Series titles, and his leadership on and off the field has been remembered fondly by teammates and fans alike. Borders was known for his incredible work ethic, his ability to handle pitchers, and his clutch performances in the postseason. His contributions to the Blue Jays championship teams, particularly in 1992 and 1993, helped cement his place in the team's history. While his career did not boast gaudy offensive statistics, his defense, ability to manage games, and leadership made him one of the most respected catchers of his era. His role in helping the Blue Jays win their first 2 World Series titles remains a major part of his legacy, and he is fondly remembered by those who watched him play during those glory years. Pat Borders may not have had the longest or flashiest career, but his impact on the game, particularly for the Blue Jays, is undeniable. His legacy as a championship-winning catcher, a stalwart behind the plate, and a key contributor during a successful period in Blue Jays history continues to live on today.